Green Mountain. A desolate space, devoid of color, but full of mystery. One single objective: climb the Green Mountain and face an alternate version of yourself that lets you know your impending future. Is everything as it seems? Or is there something more that is hidden? Well, let's climb the Green Mountain and find out the mystery that is hidden within it.
Alright, so what's this thing about a mountain being green? Well, this is actually another Sonic fan game, although it's much more spooky. This fan game was released by the user with the name Green Mountain Sonic on the website Sonic Fan Games HQ. What's weird is that this user just simply uploaded this game on a random day, and the description just says,
Climb the Green Mountain Trail.
"Well, internet stranger, of course I will download your totally safe file." Well, after extracting the file, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong. I mean, all of the files needed to run the game are present, so there isn't any other choice other than running the exe file. I mean, what's the worst that can happen, right? Well, what you see is what you get. No HUD, no rings, Sonic has no eyes, and... good God, does he not have gloves? Well, since we can't go left, the only way to go is right. After some time running, we arrive at the mountain that we are supposed to climb. But there's something that you need to know. Normally, Sonic can survive very high heights, but in this version, Sonic just straight up skipped leg day. The dude has very weak legs, and I hate to admit it, but I died a bunch of times.
I fucking lost my fucking mind. It's fucking...
After platforming across the mountain, we finally reach the top, but what awaits you is another version of Sonic. Although this little fella has seen better days judging by his appearance. What's more creepy is that the music just stops. Pure silence. Then suddenly... with no other option left, the only thing we can do is attack it. The good thing is, it doesn't really matter if the enemy hits us or not, because he cannot damage us. After hitting him a few times, this strange creature just gives up and tries to escape this box that he is trapped in. But to no avail. The only thing left to do is deliver the final blow and see what awaits us. That's when we finally hear that iconic Sonic end level theme. And then, the game just ends. Actually, what happens is much worse. After delivering the final blow, there is nothing. Absolute silence once again. The only thing that can produce noise is when Sonic jumps. And there is no point in trying to escape. We are stuck in the same exact place as that creature was. With no other option left, the only thing we can do is wait, wait, and wait. Then suddenly, after a few minutes, this happens. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. Parts of his body just started to melt away. What's worse is that the world around us is also starting to fade away. The ocean, the trees, the mountains. After a while, we finally are starting to understand that we are becoming that creature that we destroyed. But it's too late. Once the clouds are the only thing left, we can't move anymore. Completely stationary. In this dark world devoid of light. The only thing left is to stay completely still and await the words that spell out "Game over," while a telephone noise plays in the background. If you are wondering what just happened, I don't really blame you. I mean, if you take the game at face value, it doesn't make any sense. But remember when I showed you the files that came with the game? Well, there is one file named data.win. And if you extract the content in this file, you can access, for example, the sprites used, the full map of the Green Mountain, and take a look at this. In the sprites section, there are some files with very interesting names that make it seem like that two people are talking. In fact, here's what happens if you rearrange these sentences in proper order.
We've been tracking up this route forever. Couldn't you do it now?
You will get there sooner than later.
Yeah, speaking of, how far is it?
Green Mountain is not far. Okay, we are here. Did you bring the shovel?
No, we left it in the car. It's in the pack. Have you talked to her?
Not really.
Why not?
I don't want to talk.
Why?
I'm exhausted as it is.
I'll set up the stuff at the clearing.
You already need to go?
No, but I needed to mark something.
Well, judging by the conversation, it seems two people went up the Green Mountain to bury something. But what exactly? Well, take a look at this image that was in the game files. What's that? It's hard to see what it is? Well, let's go into Photoshop and brighten up the image. Yup, it seems like this is the exact place that those two people having a conversation buried something, and it looks like it's Sonic. I mean, you can even see one of the eyes. But what I actually believe is that this Sonic is in fact an analogy for an actual dead person. Unfortunately, this is all that Green Mountain has to offer, and, well, I want to thank you for watching this. Wait, what's that? There's still more to the video length? But why is there still... Oh, it seems like that there is a part 2 to this mystery. Well, in that case, let's take a look at the second part of Green Mountain. Green Mountain 2 was also released in the website Sonic Fan Games HQ, but this time the game was only available for a very short time. But luckily, the user Red Unique Hedgehog was able to download the game just in time and re-upload it over at GameJolt. Is he the guy named Green Mount Sonic?
It's possible, but not confirmed.
Well, you know the drill. After extracting the game files, this time the exe is just named 2. Well, let's launch it and see what happens. Yeah, that weird background noise you hear is not because your headphones are broken. That is in fact the music that plays on this stage. As you can see, this time we are in a weird version of Marble Zone. And this time, instead of climbing up a mountain, our objective is to actually descend a mountain. Also, massive upgrade to Sonic, since this time he doesn't break his legs when he jumps from a high position. In fact, the only way you can die this time is by drowning in these areas with this weird liquid thing. The challenge this time around is the fact that you have many paths to choose, and if you pick the wrong one, you just go to a dead end, and then you have to backtrack. Also, sometimes you can see this weird shadowy figure that looks like Sonic, but it's impossible to take a closer look at him. After successfully climbing down the mountain, eventually we see this weird structure that honestly I have no idea what it is, but it is an original object created specifically to this game. After this, we pass by an invisible goalpost, and then this happens. Okay, that was weird, but wow! This time there's actually another level, and this time it's a messed up version of Spring Yard Zone. Although this time we are not climbing or descending down a mountain. It's actually the closest thing we have to a normal Sonic level. There are actually a bunch of secret routes that you can take that lead you into these houses that are spread all over the map, and they contain enemies. The good thing is that they can't kill you, although there are these objects that can crush you and they still give me nightmares from the original Spring Yard Zone. Anyway, you can actually destroy these enemies, but instead of letting them go of the animals like in the original game, this happens. Yeah, that's pretty awful. After proceeding the level normally, you eventually come across this strange building that contains... I'm not sure if it's a couch or a bus stop. And then, well, I can't even explain it. Just take a look at what happens. The only thing left to do is to just quit the game. It seems like the noise played at the end was that of an ambulance, and this thing that I said was a sofa or a bus stop, well, the game files actually say that it's a bed, possibly a hospital bed judging by the ambulance noises. Speaking of the game files, I want to give a huge shout out to the channel named Links4, since the footage you are about to see it's from a video he made about this game, so the link to his video will be in the description. In the game files, besides the sprites used, you can actually see the entire maps used for the second part of this mystery, and just like in the first game, some names of the sprites appear to be a conversation that people are having. However, this time around it's much harder to reorder these pieces of conversations in proper order. The general consensus is that private investigators, or the police, are actually searching for the people responsible for the murder of the body found on Green Mountain, and they appear to have bits of the description of the suspects. But also it seemed that some of the suspects that they have in their sight don't match the correct description, such as the height. Unfortunately, this is truly what we know so far. The other thing is that it's obvious this fan game is following the original Sonic 1 zone levels, since so far we had Green Hill Zone, Marble Zone, and Spring Yard Zone, so there are still a bunch of levels left to tell the rest of this story. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, I would really appreciate it. And of course, thank you for watching the untold mystery of a Sonic the Hedgehog game.